We celebrate a legend that is retiring. That is our very own Sandy. He has announced his retirement after 25 years at the station. Mike, I know you had the opportunity to work with Sandy. What can you tell us about him? Because he truly is a legend here in Colorado.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a word that you are at risk of, overusing when you talk about Sandy. I know we use it a lot in sports, but in this case, this guy is a legend. You're talking about coming to Denver and starting on the radio here in Denver in 1979. So think about that. 43 years on the radio in Denver, the last 25 here with the Fan. And he and I both kind of joined the Fan around the same time. He was about a year ahead of me, and he was the first guy I worked with. And over the years, I've had so many people that have asked me, what's Sandy like? What's Sandy like? You hear him on the radio, and here's the real Sandy. Sandy, when you get him away from a microphone or a sports conversation or a political conversation, he's actually very mild-mannered, almost shy. And I know that stuns people when I say that, but really that's the case. But the biggest compliment I can give Sandy Clough is this. Everything you folks have been hearing from him over the years is 100% authentic. There is nothing made up. There is no fake emotion, nothing. Everything you hear is 100% absolute passion and enthusiasm and anger, vitriol, whatever you want to describe what you've heard from Sandy over the years. But that's the greatest compliment I can give him, is that here he is, 43 years into a career, 25 years with the Fan, and I'm telling you, he has the same passion and intensity and enthusiasm for what he does now as when he first started out.
We're pretty lucky to have him. My dad actually was the one who kind of let me in on the Sandy secret when he was like, Rachel, you got to talk to Sandy? And I was like, yeah, I did that. And he was so excited about it. And the more and more you talk to people about him, the more and more you realize truly just how legendary he is here in Colorado. And that's because of his opinions and authenticity, like you just said, Mike. And for Cecil, for you, what's one of the coolest memories that you have with Sandy?
Meeting Sandy for the first time actually with Mike at the old Monaco stations, which were like, those studios were like closets. I remember Big Al would always get like super claustrophobic and like basically push the ceiling tiles out and stand in the ceiling while we were doing shows. But anyway, like when I first was hired at the Fan in 2007, and it was, I think after you and Sandy's show was over, you guys were hanging around, and Tim Spence, then program director, brought me in, and just being around Sandy and just everything Mike said is true. Like his knowledge is second to none. His passion is second to none. His intelligence about these sports that we love is second to none. And it's all done out of that love for sports and that love for his microphone and his audience. Yes, actual love and care as a kind human being, but just like being around him and realizing that's who he is. Right? It's not any sort of show. This is any sort of, clickbait or anything, hot take radio, none of that. It was always his true reaction, his true response. He's got the ear of legends in the sporting world, right? He'll sit down and have a conversation over a cold, nice tumbler of scotch with John Elway. And he'll tell Elway, that he stinks or whatever. Like he'll have these type of conversations with these sorts of luminaries in the sporting world, because that's just who he is, man. And so it's always been a blessing to listen to him and to be around him and to know him, and the memories of him and Mike. I think those were fantastic memories. So love Sandy Clough and wish him well in retirement.
Absolutely. And another thing I have to add is he never talked down to anyone. And, being a younger part of the media, a lot of times you can have people who kind of talk down to you a little bit, but he never did. He talked to me like I was on the exact same level as him. And I appreciated that. If there was something I didn't know, he would explain it in depth, right? There's the history part of it that may never connect with me like it does for a lot of other people. But that was one thing I loved about him, is I was able to have him on and just have a genuine, true conversation about people that love sports. And I get to do that with a ton of different people here too. Cecil, Mike, both of you included too. Sandy always came through with the book of knowledge. Much love to Sandy. Yeah, we wish him obviously the best on his retirement. We're excited for him.